shop to the pod, it's sound invasion. Bass so fast, well my way should rock star bass now we get black. Do the big Jeff dance. About the dance, the best about that bass be fire. From the shop to the pod, it's a sound invasion. Bass so fat, it's a ground vibration. We talking sub-amps and that sweet bass life. Turn it up now, hit the lights, get high. Do the big Jeff dance, let the bass take hold. Throw your hands up, this groove too bold. Wobble, let's stop right now, spin with pride. The Big Sound Podcast, yo, we live. Big Sound Podcast. If you live. Big Sound Podcast.
Yo, it's Tuesday night, so yeah, you know what that means. Big Jeff and his team back on the scene. It's 2025, let's start the show. Taylor and Ben, they all ready to go. Big Jeff got the gear that you want indeed. Got subs, speakers, amps, everything you need. Guests line up about to spread some knowledge. Big Sound teach you more than you learn in college. Let's talk car audio, a page he has. It's on Facebook and it's run by Zaz. Got a question to drop? Go ahead and of course ask. Deviant for life, yeah, the man in the horse mask. It's giveaway time, even the haters can win. See him flapping the gums, but then they entering in. Say what you want about Jeff, but I tell you this, he pays 32 people that can feed their kids. Haters getting mad, they be crying to mommy, but we pay him no mind, we fold them up like origami. Big Jeff coming through like he in the tsunami. Deviant riding shoddy in the Gajani.
I could watch that non-stop, dude, because it was hilarious. One of those things when you're just shooting video without even trying to shoot video was awesome. Big night tonight, episode 65. We got Jay Holm in, who's over in Viking land right now. I don't even know where he's at. He was visiting for, they do Easter like all week over there. But we got tonight, where we got, let's see, announced the audio pipe giveaway tonight, which is a marine amp and some coaxials, RGB. And then we have to announce the chain giveaway winner, which actually got a choice of a big subwoofer for a whole system. What else we got? Announced too, we actually have now Dirty Bass flash drives. We're working with him. You get them on our website. So we have those. Those have been selling. And we're working with him to make some exclusive Big Jeff ones. Those things are loaded, 65 gigs. I mean, they're loaded with a couple thousand songs. So big shout out to Dirty Bass. We still have some SVL 15s left. That's it. All the stews are gone. They're not making this anymore. So get that while you can. I can't even imagine something like this would be with tariffs. We're still selling them at the normal closeout price. So there's some left, dual ones and dual twos left for the SVL 15s. Those are some big mamma jamma. And then awesome news, the DSP from B2 Audio, we have now officially have the app on iOS and Android. Yes. So officially branded app, not some no-name Chinese whatever. We went through the whole process, got the 610 app in iOS for B2 and Android. So they're all downloadable. Today just showed up new B2 Audio 10x10 tents and banners, which you're going to see those up right there. It's a 10x10 banner tent. And I believe we're able to sell these, which we're not making no money at all, for like $249 shipped for the tent. Okay. And then we have banners of like a 3x4 or so. Pull that back up, Ben. We have banners, and then we're waiting for the chairs. The chairs are supposed to be here, but the banners are like $29, and the chair is going to be like $39 or $49. But we have the tents and we have the banners right now, so they'll be up available tomorrow. So check that out. Now, what else are we talking about tonight? Oh, big shout out to my office manager, Eliana, who was recently in the hospital. We want to give everybody a get well soon. She was released today, might be at the office tomorrow. This is actually her first day in almost 2 years that she's ever missed. So hopefully she'll get better. Okay, so tonight we have giveaways. We have Jay Holm. We have a bunch of new B2 audio products. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let me go through some of these comments real quick, give some shout outs. Hit that like button right now. Share this out in the groups. Let's get as many people as we can in here. Let me move my screen to chat. There we go. We got always Zaz in the house. Crazy Foot 490. Nathan, I'm not even trying. Machuchin. Hold on. Let me scroll through here. Is it Machuchin? Did I say that right? All right. Well, if I didn't say it right, I didn't mean that. And anyway, thank you for everybody jumping in. I see Eliana in here, Joey Eldred in here, Danny Salazar, Richard Fornes, Donnie's in the house. Everybody hit that share button. Let's get some more people in here. We have giveaways tonight. We're going to be talking about B2 audio and other products. I don't want to even get into the whole tower thing, but if you have some questions, I'll try to answer them. I'm sure everybody's heard enough about that as it is. And we were supposed to have Brittany in here, our CSR manager, but I don't know what happened to her. Dusty's in the house. Mike A's in the house. All right, we got everybody in the house. Let's do what I like to do is a short video about our guest, and that is Jay Holm, the founder, the creator, the designer, sometimes a pain in my ass, but he is the man here from B2 Audio. Let's look at this quick video and let's bring him on.
Yeah, you hear that bass? B2 Audio is back. Bigger, stronger, louder. From Europe to the US, feel the boom. Jay Holm in the lab, making speakers go vroom. New gear, new tech, innovations lit. Dropping heat with precision, every watt legit. B2 is back and it's taking the crown. Turn it up loud, shake the whole town. With Big Jeff's vision and marketing flames, this brand's going global, remember the name. It's the new wave, B2 in the zone. Speakers so strong, they rattle your bones. Holmes got the blueprint, Jeff brings the fire. Together they build what the bass heads desire.
Where are you right now anyway? Because I know you were traveling. Where are you actually at right now?
I'm in southwestern part of Denmark.
Okay, so you're in Viking land, basically.
Well, usually I am.
Okay,
It's
so
just,
his internet is in and out. He's in Viking land, so you'll have to put up with that. But we got Jay here. That video Ben put together, I think it's snappy, man. I like it. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. One, we have you're actually flying over here, right, for Made of Steel, yep. And we're planning to have a few people. Let's see, Sarah Anderson, didn't she win that last giveaway? Yeah, I believe so. We got more and more females here in America getting involved in car audio, which is an awesome thing. But you're flying over. We're going to have the Hummer, which everybody knows, the Yukon rebuild, Rick Fornes, who we're actually waiting to hand build his X2Cs. We're going to have Robin, and I think possibly two more going to Made of Steel with all B2 audio. So that's going to be pretty fun. You're flying out here. So we're going to have a good time with that. So I want to get a few things. One, let's talk about the Yukon build, because you've been seeing it here and there going. We're doing the 33-inch woofers in there. I mean, overall, you're a car audio guy. This is your brand. What do you think? How do you think that build's coming?
From what I've seen so far, it's pretty amazing. Sure, one thing is just looking at it on paper or seeing some sketches and so forth. But once you basically put the two enclosures together, you have the backlit thing and all of that. It's gonna be cool. I can't wait to actually hear it myself.
Yeah, they're talking about Wednesday because they needed help, because to get it in, we have to put the bottom box in, we have to slide the main two boxes, but also hold the top, because we had to do all that to get all the airspace possible. So we're trying to figure out. But I think Wednesday the box might be in and mounted, and then what's left is the amp rack and then the center console. So we're real close on that with two 33-inch woofers and a Yukon. Should be pretty insane. Okay, I want to get into, because they came out real big. We've done the testing, the dynos, and I don't think everybody know. If you don't know, let's talk about the RGB Riot amps. Okay, so we have two amps we made, an 1800.4 and a 2500.1. Give us some insight on the design and where did you even go with those amps?
Well, first and foremost, we wanted to have something that was below the range line. We haven't really done any Riot 4 channels or multi-channels. Most of the Riot amps is usually the monos. So we wanted to step down the powers a little bit, but also be able to reach more customers that might not have the biggest box, but still wanted the most flashy thing that you could get. So we figured out, let's add some LEDs. People are happy with LEDs, and instead of just doing, ordinary 3 different diodes or whatever it is, we made them so they have different patterns, and you can also basically click with the, I think it's like 8 or 10 different modes you have on the amp itself. And it
Plus
came
the
out
price point too, because the Rage stuff is $400 or $500. These were $349 each. You either got an 1800.4, which did that plus, or the 2500, which did that, and surpassed ratings, went lower resistance wise than rated. I mean, overall, and then the footprint. I mean, both these amps are small footprint. I think the biggest thing I like is that the RGB you can change with just a button. You don't have to have remotes or Bluetooth or none of that. So it was all compact.
It's fairly simple,
Yeah, real simple. Mount and play and have a good time with it. So, is there?
That's also why when we made the 2500, we said that this is basically for most people that are beginners and so on and so forth. So we said, okay, let's just make this amp a half bridge to make sure that, hey, they might connect it below 1 ohm or whatever. So try to make it as bulletproof as possible. And usually
we did
amps
that.
will 3K.
Not that we recommend it, but we did that. We ran half ohm, played it. There's supposed to be a 2 ohm, a 4 ohm mono, 2 ohm stereo. We went basically dropped that down too. The amps are bulletproof for sure, and in a really good price range with that RGB. So those really good amps. And then we actually had them on the last container, but there was issues with the packaging. That we got grills now. Bring those grills up. We have 6.5 inch, 8 inch, 10 inch, and 12 inch grills with a good amount of excursion. 2 inch excursion, which works definitely with all mids and highs, but even most subwoofers. Simple grill. There's nothing special. I mean, it's not branded, or it's really hard to put anything on there, but the grills are made to fit all the B2 audio stuff, and then some. I would say more universal. And I think we got a good price range on that. But the biggest talk now is stepping into the Power Sports Marine. Even though you had the PWRs and that water resistant speakers, we got the new called the Vatten. Now, break everybody down what it means, because here's the logo we came up with.
Yeah, well, for people of Nordic descent, they probably know what Vatten means, but it's actually water. Still, some places in Norway and even in Sweden, they still say Vatten, whereas in Denmark we just say that. But it's the same. It just means water, and it's of Norse, like Old Norse language. And that's where we have that wordplay, because we still play around with different themes and so on and so forth, and usually draw inspiration upon the Nordic culture. So that's why we play with
water
the
resistant. This is total submersible, waterproof.
It's it's IPX5, so you should be able to basically have a pressure washer on it and be good. I wouldn't have it too much submersible, but at least you can have a pressure washer on it, and you'll be good.
Right, and salt water will tear anything up, but at least this can get completely wet. And we're starting with a 4-channel, an 800 by, or is it 800 by 4?
Yeah, 800 by 4.
Right, and then we're going to have different models, but this really caters to the power sports guys, jet skis, boats, and not
Super
even
comfy.
that. Yeah, I mean, even regular car audio guys that are with their Jeeps and other things that do get wet or they clean it from the inside out. This is a perfect thing. So when do we think we're expecting? I know everything's all crazy out there, but when are we expecting those?
Probably around June, July.
Right. So right mid there. I know Zaz just popped up a question, which I definitely I'll let you answer this. Pull up Zaz. There you go. Home
Seems
DJ.
like my screen.
I think
Seems like my screen froze.
I think he's kissing up because he used to be a DJ. But I'm gonna jump in. Zaz, it's a whole nother market that definitely I don't see BTO right now. We've expanded the line so much. I mean, you got to think just 2 years ago, it wasn't even in the US anymore. A year ago, we had about 60 SKUs, and right now we're on the verge to have 100 plus SKUs. With the big one, I can't wait to come in on the next container is we got Rampages coming in all the sizes. So right now, the only thing Rampage is the 8-inch, which we just did a video. It's actually going to come out tonight. Ben, good. Do we have a little bit of the video we can play? Of the Rampage 8?
6-inch as well, though.
Right, sorry, we got the 6-inch and 8-inch, but we're bringing in the 12s and 15s. Does he have it on here? Where's Ben? Ben, do we have some of the Rampage video? Rampage 8? That was in the video we just did. Hold on, let me pull these guys in here. There he is. We got some of the Rampage 8 video?
Yeah, I got a video break number 2 if you want me to play it.
Go ahead. We'll put something else up then. Go ahead, play
Okay.
that. Come into my energy. We're talking about Rampage. You got a high surround. We have push terminals with double tinsel leads. High temp coil. Let's turn on the up close and personal. Multiple vents for porting. Let's go all the way up there. All the way up to the dust cap.
Big Jeff audio, baby. Where you go from big
Bam! We're back. Okay, so we got it in the flex tester thingamajigger.
flex test till the sound explode. Big Jeff audio, yo, we overload. Flex test, it's a full send zone. Rattling your soul straight through the ozone. Flex it. Big Jeff, bring that heat. Flex it. Got that thunder on repeat.
And you can see this thing.
Wires tight, amps lit, folks on.
I kind of consider that. Where'd he go? Did we lose him? Oh, we might have lost him here. He's logging back in. Okay, so on that, there he is. Okay, I kind of consider the Rampage as a flagship woofer because how long has the Rampage 8 been around? You with us?
About 2000. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Can
hear
you
you
hear me?
now. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, it actually started. It started as something called
All right, he's cutting out.
CC8. Then it turned into an XM8.
So,
Is it better now?
yeah, you keep cutting it out. Your service sucks out there. So the Rampage has been around for
Okay.
how?
Okay, but it was actually an evolution of a speaker called, which we've had for
Right, the SM2.
oh,
Right, and really small changes on it. So that's just been one that's been around for a while. So I kind of call that the flagship. But what
Yeah.
about so the Rampages though we're going to have produced, and people are going to be able to purchase those. So the X2Cs will still be handmade, which we're having parts come in at this moment, and those will be hand built. But the Rampages will be mass produced, and we're talking what? 4,000 or 5,000 watt subwoofers. His internet is bad. All right, we're just going to kick him to the curb. All right, so
let me try to switch.
yeah, switch over.
Let me try.
So the Rampage 8 has been a flagship. Some people like MB calls it one of his kings, and that thing is just a durable, like 12. You can give that thing 1,000 watts all day long, RMS, even more. and it just eats it up for sure. So we are coming out with the 12, 15, and possibly an 18-inch Rampage, which will be mass produced, which will bring that cost down. But the X2Cs will still be handmade, which is the cream of the crop, the top of the top. So we got the Cotton coming out, which is all the marine stuff. We have Rampages right now. Talk of the town, which has been going great, is the DSP, which is a 6-channel in, 10-channel out DSP. Okay, and we have those apps now fully loaded and approved on the iOS and also the Android. Okay, and right now even that thing's still only $154.95, and it is easy to work with. Okay, while he's trying to get his internet back in, if you guys got any questions, let me go through here and see if I can pick any up. And you guys are coming in to help me out here because I'm all alone. There we go. Okay, need 2 15-inch Rampages. So Taylor, can you access what we're thinking the map's going to be on the Rampage?
Let me try.
And this, everybody understand, this is just a guesstimate because everything's going to change the pricing. Are you there, Jay? Can you hear us? No? Okay, we're just going to keep talking.
I'm here now at least.
We're looking at what the kind of the price is going to be on the Rampages that are coming in, hopefully in about a month, if everything goes smooth. And while you were gone, we're talking about the DSP, and then what else we got coming up for B2 Audio? What is the next thing besides the VOT and stuff?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? You're killing my podcast. I'm gonna.
Cuts in and out.
Yeah.
Can
Your
you repeat?
internet really sucks. Tell them to get off the computers there. Okay. What is next up for B2 Audio? Where else are we going this year?
Well, we're developing the power sports. We're looking into more speakers for power sports as well, to fit the market, which is also going to be front mounted that fits in the Rage 48 3500 type heatsink.
Right, so that's
we're
going to be
also
the
looking
Rage.
at budget woofers. Yeah, Rage 7800. And we're looking into
we talked about that?
budget
Yes.
woofers as well.
Budget woofers, and we're going to call them the raves, like rave.
Yeah, the rave. Exactly.
Yeah, the raves, and we're talking like $79, $99, 12-inch. RMS peak rating. The Rampage is on the way in. What is going to be the RMS and the peak rating on the Rampages?
5K for RMS. Peak.
Right.
Well,
Whatever you can get.
All depends on frequency and so on and so forth. But the RMS rating is 5K.
Do you like different colors, caps, baskets, or threads? Are you also custom stuff? Now you got to remember that. I mean, one, designing takes years sometimes, and then two, you just can't have that many options. It's like going into an ice cream, 31 flavors, and then you're staring at all of them trying to pick one, and then you end up only walking out with strawberry or chocolate anyway. So no, that's not going to happen. Okay, so the Rampage is going to be 5,000 watt RMS subs, and we might even have those here in about a month or so. Let's see what this guy says here. Any plans for new speaker size design? Say anything in the 18, something I could just entire car for a box. Enough airspace for the 13s. Well, the 18s, the Rampage 18s, still going to need a huge box, right?
Sure.
Probably 6.
It's not going to fit. I would say the minimum requirement is around about 5 cubes. Well, of course, unless you do sealed, which I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't put all that into speakers to do sealed, but still, minimum of 5. Yeah, honestly,
5 cubes,
right. What about and 18s don't sell that crazy. Okay, I got some pricing here to look at right now, and this all depends on tariffs, everyone. But the Rampage 10 is going to be around $750. Rampage 12 should be around $1,100. Rampage 15 is around $1,500. Around. Don't quote me on this. And the Rampage 18 should be around $1,700. These are big. How many ounce magnets are they? on the Rampages? No? Okay.
The 15s and 18s are 1,400 ounce, like entire motor structure.
Right. So, and well, somebody look up 1,400 ounces equals how many pounds?
Motor wise, it's nearly 50 kilos for the Rampage Elites.
Right. So
Which
kilos,
is-
2.2 pounds. So
It's like
you're
87 pounds.
88 pounds.
Yeah, 87.5 things.
and then you got the dry. Yeah, I mean that's going to be a heavy beast. Didn't know B2 or purchase others. Okay. What else are we looking? So we're going to enhance on the DSPs or the EQ, the processing, right? We got the marine stuff on the way. We just still are moving forward with multiple mids and eyes, but we're also talking about compression drivers, right?
Correct. We're working on those as well. Nearly forgot. We're gonna
Right.
offer bolt-on compression drivers. Of course, we already have compression drivers. We have the Rage CDRs, which you can also have a shallow mount or a longer horn. But we're coming
Right.
with
Yeah, but we're
compression
talking about
drivers.
the bigger ones, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Guys that are doing stunt walls, or not even that. It's real popular to get like a 1-inch twist on something big, or even a bolt on. So those are actually something to go into. So with that, we have tweeters, drivers, compression drivers. And again, I always tell everybody in the videos that the loudspeakers are full range, so it's not like a mid-bass, mid-range. It does it all. We have bullet, non-bullet. So there's a lot of SKUs right now. And then this next container is really going to knock it out of the water. All right, let's get into there he goes, gone. Let's get into some zero amps, because let's talk about that. You got some pictures of the zeros, Ben?
I got a few emergency ones.
So the zero amps are Korean models. What was the thought or the process in those? Because it's not just another Alibaba amp with name on. I mean, you got different things like daisy chain, or you also have. Well, you break it down. Break down the zero amps for us.
As long as you guys can see and hear me, then I'm good, because I can't really even see any of you guys. My picture is frozen. So
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
All right,
now.
break down zero amps. We can hear you.
Well, the zero amps was basically the start from zero, or start from scratch, more or less, back in 2016. We did the Raven amp, which was our last amp we did with a specific build house. And from that, we decided to basically start from scratch. Was with another build house. And we said, okay, let's try to do things that we always wanted to do that we couldn't previously. So we said that, okay, let's start with the power and grounds. Let's make these symmetrical instead of having minus and all the negatives on one
What
side
he's
and the
talking
positives on
about,
the other
everybody,
side.
if he's cutting in and out, is that those were also designed to have the positives together, the negatives together, instead of some amps have them like here. If you look on the picture there, you have all the powers together and all the grounds together, and that's a 06 that has 3 inputs. The 12 has 4, and then the 15 has how many?
4.
Yeah, 4, 3, 2. Right. Rick is running 012s right now, one to each one of his 15s. He's about to upgrade to the X2Cs and run a 12 to each one. I'm running a 015 on the 2 33s. You think that's going to be enough power, half ohm?
I'd say so, because the power of this amp, even after rise, it's going to be immense. You're probably looking at, even at 2 ohm, you're looking at 10K. So if you have like a rise of 4, you're going to get 10K, which is respectable.
Right.
At 2 ohm.
And then you would think these big giant 33s, but they don't need 5,000 each. There's going to be plenty on those. I mean, it's just going to move the air.
The ones that we've built, they even did well with it, just like 1K. Like if you looked at, for instance, SMB's video where he was demoing them in his house, sure, he was satisfied with 1K, but once you put like 3 or 4 or whatever it was on them when he changed the amps, That was it really blew his mind.
Well,
So
and
you have
Steve
10K
has a
stuff.
box half the size of what we got, and he was in like the mid 50s in his house with those.
It
So
was
he's got
impressive. Extremely
right, he's
impressive.
got a box that's half the size. He's got a house that's huge, and he was SBLing in the mid 150s. So not looking to build Yukon SBL really. It's just to move air, be able to see it. That's the main thing. Okay, and then we still have the Rage 12s version 4, right, Taylor? I always get mixed up with the version.
Um, the
Well,
Rage
technically it's
12s.
version 3. Rage XL went to carbon fiber.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the reason to go to carbon fiber from the original design? You changed the surround and you went to carbon fiber. Why?
Well, lightness of the cone, of course, and also the ability of having a more rigid cone.
Right. So does that really make that much of a difference?
We redesigned the voice coil as well, so it sure does, because what we did previously, we were always trying to optimize when it came to like MMS. Of course, all the moving parts and the weight and so on and so forth. So what we did here, we went with a slightly thicker former on these, and also we increased the winding a little bit. So to offset that balance in terms of the weight in the voice coil, we decided to go with a carbon fiber cone, so that will actually still have less MMS, but totally wise, it should more or less break out to the same. If we used a paper cone, we would have had way lower, and or actually would have been a high MMS, but the SPL would have been lower. And we tried to basically offset that by using a slightly lighter cone. Another good thing is that since this was a new tooling, we were also able to utilize the new surround that we tooled. So we made still narrow-ish, I would say, but also far taller than what we've done previously. So it's around about 20% taller, actually 25% taller than what we've done previously when it comes to the surround. But it's also, I think it's like 15% wider.
All right, talking about these percentages, I want to get into the new Rage amps because we have the 3500, the 48, and the 1200.4. Mm-hmm. And the coolest thing about it is when I take them apart, it's actually like a half shell, and then you have a board that has MOSFETs and then sandwiched with more MOSFETs. So, Ben, you get pictures of the Rage amps up, right? And then
I'm looking for them in the website.
Yeah. And then Jay, explain that design of the new Rage amps and how. I mean, it's just crazy how that works. I'm not talking about the wires coming out the front. I'm talking about that it's not even a full heat sink of alloy. It's like part, but it still has a cooling property.
The entire heatsink is more or less like an L. It looks like an L more or less. And instead of it being like a traditional heatsink, we utilize both the end side and we utilize the bottom side as well. So that's why we have MOSFETs mounted directly downwards to the top of the heatsink, but also on the back of the heatsink. So it's not just like left side, right side. It's actually top side and then right side that we're having on the heatsinks.
Hold
that
that.
Also utilize.
Hold that. That last comment. We'll get back to that. That also on here, what's cool, was the potentiometers, which is the first time I ever had that on an amp, where they're clickable, and each click is a different frequency or and/or gain control. I mean, that's the cool stuff, right?
Yeah, we call the feature Actuate, and I think we've had it for at least 14 years or so. But we haven't really marketed it that much. But people who had our old stuff, they knew about this function, the Actuate. What really sets us apart, of course, this is not on the Rage app, but it's more that we started to reintroduce the daisy chain function, which we had previously as well. But for the Rage apps, we said that let's try again. Let's make it a marketable thing so people can actually see that the Actuate function has a lot of value, that you're able to set your gains, set your frequency settings, exactly down to a T instead of just guessing. Sure, you can also buy expensive tools, but here, if you're just gonna set it like Saturday nights and don't have
Well,
any tools with you, and,
I like the
hey,
idea too that
click
yeah,
80 hertz, whatever it might be.
and not even that. I think it stays there because a lot of times potentiometers will move with heat and vibration. Okay, we're not going to play the whole thing, but Ben, go ahead and kick off because some people watching might not have seen the Yukon update. We'll go ahead and kick some of that video off real quick.
The control is the base knob is one for the sub, correct? Which can be controlled from the app. Turn those on and off. Okay. The second one. Be close, but okay. So if we did have to take one or two off, we could pack them into one or two more. Put them on the other. Okay. I'd even like that better, honestly.
And then we can just go up, say we can run it back and run it down.
Okay. What was the second one?
The other one, like,
How do you precisely?
Okay, seeing us stand by those really makes you see how big those things are. And not even that, when you're looking at pictures, you're like, oh, it's such a small motor structure. But those are 200-pound subwoofers, 200-pound subwoofers. It's like 188 or something like that. But you see that structure. I think the amount of cone area, right, is equal to what? Didn't you figure that out? Two of those is equal to what?
One is equal to 3.3 18 inches. That's 6.5 18 inches more or less for two of those.
Right. Okay. So and then the problem is with those, you need a minimum of how many cubes each?
It all depends on where you want to go. Of course, you had how many cubes? Was it 16 cubes you had?
16 and a half or so. It was over 16 for sure with all the extra.
Exactly.
Right. So
I would say for those who really wants to utilize them and go to, well, those frequency where people are actually wanting to hit 20 cubes plus each. Which makes sense because look at an 18 inch, and here you have 3.3 times the cone area. But of course, everything is a compromise. If you don't have a sufficient amount of space, then just go with the flow.
right. Well, you just kind of build it as big as you can, really, for those.
Exactly.
We were really worried until we figured out to build down to get that airspace because we actually got over 5 cubes going down. Which we would have lost. And then it would have been one of those things that's like, man, it's going to be windy, but it's not going to be loud. But okay, so you guys are missing yours, but we were started back up the chain giveaway. We're going to bring the chains to Made of Steel, and we were doing the chain giveaway, which was easy. People had to text the word chain to 737 Big Jeff, and then we were giving away a B2 Audio Dual 8 box an audio control amp, an amp kit, and a dual radio, or they could pick this King 12-inch subwoofer. Okay, we're going to jump to that and announce the winner right now. That's what we're going to do because everybody always loves giveaways. But let's give something else away, guys. What do we want to give away tonight? Let's come up
What
with
if we
that.
get those chairs in soon?
Probably.
You know what? I think you're right. Okay, let's do this. Let's give away one of the tents tonight.
Dang.
Right. Okay. If you want to get in and win a tent, Ben, you got the pictures of the tent? Oh, did you get them? I didn't think I sent it to you. There you go. Okay, a 10 by 10 tent. You want to win a tent tonight. I need everybody to comment the word tent. But here, there's a little caveat to it. You got to share this feed out. We got to get some more people in here. Okay? So you got to do two things. You got to tent, and everybody's got to hit that share button somewhere. Okay? Do that. All right. While you're doing that, we're going to pick the winner for the chain giveaway that has a pick of option 1 and option 2. So let's go ahead and go ahead. What were you saying?
Let me just answer some questions right quickly.
Oh, yeah. Let's go to that. Go
I'll
ahead.
pick the voice coil is all X26s are 6-inch voice coils, so voice coil is 6 inches. The other one asked if the Manny freeways are coming back in stock. We're actually replacing them with something called the Reference SQ, which will also be a 3-way set, also be available in the 2-way set. So that's going to come later.
Yeah, we didn't bring that up too. We got the Reference 4 come back, which is an AB amp.
That's correct as well. The Reference 4 is going to come back in June, July. And we
You really
tested
think there's a
the
big market left for
prototype.
the AB? Do you really think there's a big market? I know US amps and others. Who is the AB customer?
It depends. It can either be those that don't believe in new technology, and it can also be those who basically want to have something that is more unique, that isn't just, well, the same circuits, same layout as anything else. So basically, when we made the Ref 4, we said, okay, we start from scratch again. We pick some of the better or the best components that we can get in that price range. So that's why we went with Rubicon, we went with Sunken FETs, TI chips. So basically, we're not really setting a cap on what the amp should cost. It's basically, let's start with these components and build the amp out of that. That's also why we built it as a mirrored amp. So you have 2 power supplies. So it's basically 2 channels on one side and 2 channels on the other side, and 2 separate amps, more or less.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think you can hear a difference of an AB amp and a regular amp side by side?
Privately, or from personal opinion,
Yeah.
I would say it's pretty hard if it's a good class D amp.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking.
My
What
personal
is the AB customer though?
I think the AB customer is for those people who prefer old school style, and also might prefer something that has maybe a bit more warmth to it. It's kind of hard to explain because sure.
There's definitely a difference in amps sound wise, okay? And
Sure.
It's hard to tell, and let me tell you why. Me, over the years, being able to test different things and different speakers, you hear a difference. When you don't have it side by side or you're just listening to your car, you can't tell that. But let me tell you, cheap amps sound different than better amps with better components. Big time. The bass sounds different, the mids and highs sound different, the response is different. And I don't think people realize that you buy a $100, which there probably won't be such thing as a $100 Amazon amp anymore soon. But you buy a $100 amp, yes, it booms, yes, it makes power, but the sound is different. It's like listening to a home audio setup and that quality bass. There is a quality in bass. It just is clean. It doesn't have the ting. It's the same thing listening to like a soft dome and a titanium tweeter. It's 2 different worlds. So I do believe in amps for sure, but is there a big difference between an AB and, like you said, a good Class D amp?
Yeah, but that's also why when I compare, I basically compare like comparable product. I wouldn't say that this is the cheapest class D and here is a high end class AB because it wouldn't be fair. But if you compare like a $500 class AB and a $500 class D, I'm saying it's going to be quite hard to compare if this is better than the other, especially if you know what you're doing. Because today we're a DSP. Let's just say you got the 610 and you know what you're doing. You're able
You
to basically
set it and just peak, bottom, top, and then
exactly. And,
Right.
and then it's hard for me to basically sit here and being like the advocate for the class AB. But on the other hand, we made the class AB because it's more or less like there are no
I
restrictions.
got an idea. When the reference 4 comes, and we've been doing where we're shipping me out one beforehand, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to set up reference 4, a Riot, and a Rage on the same speakers, same signal, wide off, where I'll be able to turn each amp on and off. And I think you'll probably be able to hear the difference in the video because it's going to be one right after another. So if the mic's in the same spot, and we were to play it, I'm going to try that.
What you need to do is
I do agree.
measure that you have the same output voltage as well.
100%. Yeah, it's got to be across the board. My question is, I don't know if we're really going to hear a difference between the Rage and the Reference 4. Maybe the Riot amp and a Reference 4. But I don't know. Those Rage amps, man, are really good amps, man. We've sold a lot of them. We got a lot of people that just believe in them. It's a beautiful looking amp. I mean, all the way around. Okay, let's go ahead and do the chain giveaway. If you haven't done it already, you got to text the word tent to win a tent. That's pretty simple.
The tent giveaway or the chain giveaway?
Well, we're going to announce the chain giveaway winner. We're going to let them keep commenting the word tent, and then we'll pick that later on. But let's give away. Let's do the chain giveaway. We still have the audio pipe giveaway too. So let's do the chain giveaway. Tyler Herbert, congratulations, you won the chain giveaway. So you got to contact 737 Big Jeff, reach out to customer service, and you're going to pick option 1 or option 2. Congratulations on it. Okay. And then in a little bit, we still have the audio pipe giveaway to announce, and then we're going to be giving away a tent tonight. So that's real big. Okay, so just to kind of recap what we're talking about, right? We have an AB amp that's going to be coming out. We have the Line Marine stuff. The Rampages are coming back all the way up to 18-inch. Man, what else we got?
X2Cs.
We have X2Cs are literally somewhere, customs or something, which Rick Fornes already has claimed 2 of the 15-inch that we're going to put together by hand on video. What else we got? So we're talking about the compression drivers. Man, it's just a ton of stuff going on with B2, man. So I mean, it's just cool that it came back. It's cool that we're working together. It's cool we're doing all this. It's cool that we got all this support. It's just a cool thing, man, and it's a great brand for sure.
Comments that I really liked. And there was one from the Ace of Fake. He says, a lot of people don't realize that using high-quality music file is super important too. And I agree, because a lot of people, they might have bad stamp, the best RCA cables, lovely speakers, and so forth, and then they go and they stream from YouTube, like with mediocre compression.
Okay, 100%. So you have to be careful with your stream, right? And then everything is recorded at different levels on top of distorted signals or not. So yeah, why go get some hacked up stuff and you put all that money into it? We just started selling DJ Dirty Bass's rebass stuff, which we have on our website now, which is kind of cool. And then we're having to make some special Big Jeff tracks, but it's like a 64 gig flash drive filled with music. But yeah, 100%. And then the other thing is, I think, you know what it is, Jan? I think everybody just got so used to how much power does it make, right? And I think Tower Amps did that, right? Dollar per watt, and that's all that matters. But the reality is, yes, that does matter to certain people, but if you really want to hear that music or hear quality or longevity, efficiency, all that are wrapped up, then you pay a little bit more money. It's like otherwise we'd all be driving a Kia or a Hyundai. You know what I mean? You get what you want for sure. Okay, so we're going to cut off the tent. All right, we're going to pick a winner for the tent. Okay, let's pick a winner. Jay, you can, we can hear you, you can announce the winner for the tent. Oh,
Okay, let me try.
all right. I don't know if you. Yeah,
There
go
is
ahead. Sarah Anderson. We got a. Yes, a female. Yes, won the tent. So we did a giveaway like 2 weeks ago just for females for a American-based double din. Go do your impression of Bob.
Let me see. We have a.
Do your impression of Bob.
No, heck no, I'm not gonna do it.
Do your impression of Bob, man. All right, he's gonna do his impression of Bob. Yes, man, you do it perfect. But we gave away American-based double din. Female won it, and a female won the tent tonight. Congratulations to her. Man, why don't you do Bob? Man, you laugh if he was watching this right now. Okay, all right.
Anybody want to see me do it? Anybody who wants to see, come to Made of Steel show, and I'll do it.
Right, Made of Steel show.
Exactly.
If you're in Florida, come to Made of Steel. B2 Audio is going to be there representing for sure. And then we got a bunch of stuff that's going to be down there. Okay, so we still have a little bit of time. If you have some questions for Jay before we announce the Audio Pipe winner, go ahead and pop them in right now. I'm going to scan through here. Hold on. Here we go. There's actually a lot of comments. Let me see here. Scan through. Jay needs B2 microphone. No, he needs B2 internet. He's out in the middle of the woods right now. All right, what is
exactly?
Honestly, I don't pay attention. Here we go. Here's a go. This guy's pretty intelligent. Ace of Fate, you're speaking clarity. I love this guy here. Player, honestly, I don't pay attention to wattage. It means nothing. Usually you want to look for sensitivity. If anything, Neo Motors, you can't go wrong with anything B2 makes. He's 100% right. I mean, B2's always been known for quality. Now, don't get me wrong. Riot was like that budget step into, but we also just to bring, here's the thing. Not everybody can afford it. We're bringing in what we're calling the Rave woofers, which are 750 watt, inexpensive subwoofers, but we're talking about under $100. Okay. So those are coming into for people that might never have had B2 audio and have a chance to. FYI, Big Jeff, big typo. You want to pass it on. Audio Pipe, guys. There's a 5-stack dual forum. I'm reading a comment here. What is he saying? I'm just, oh, there it comes. 5-stack dual forum, 18-inch wiring diagram in the manual. Hopefully that made sense. I'll probably do. Jay, can you tell us how many times does the other countries really screw up manuals and information all the time? That's why we go, right. We decided to go scan codes where you could scan the code, go directly to a PDF. Yeah, to get rid of that, because I can't tell you what they screw up and how, and no matter how exact we are. So that's the reason, but I'm sure Audio Pipe is about it. Okay. Here's a good question. What B2s were good for my doors? You got to give us more information. What size?
Exactly.
Right. We have the Riots, we have the Rages, you could go with the coaxials.
Rage CFMs.
We don't talk enough about the coaxials.
We even have the Rage CFMs, the carbon fiber ones.
Right. Carbon fiber ones. So Jesse, there's too many options. We don't talk enough, and I don't think they get enough props, but we have a coaxial that just sounds incredible. But there's the 6Ps, the 8Ps. There's too many. If you go to either Big Jeff's website, or if you want to go to B2 Audio USA site, you can go to Mids and Highs, and there's a bunch of options. It's going to come down always to budget, power, and room. That's always what it's going to be. Okay, what else we got here? 6.5. He says 6.5.
Rage 6 CFMs if you want something that's weatherproof. If you want something,
I like the 6Ps. Yeah, I'm a 6P guy.
And if you want something that's good for your budget, then go with the Riot's 6P. Or if you want a little bit more power on it, you go with the Rage 6P. If you're looking for more SQ style, you can go with a new Riot 6.1 set, or you can step up and go with the Rage 6.1 set. So there are plenty of options.
Right.
even the coaxials, like the ordinary coaxials, the Rage 65X.
I don't know. I really like the way those sound. You know what, Ben? Make a note. We got to redo a video on the coax. We have the 6.5 inch and the 6x9. I don't think they get enough clout for them because they just sound really, really good with a tremendous amount of output. Yeah, 100%. Okay, so there you go, Jesse. Really, it comes down to, my friend, budget. What I might think is the best, or somebody else, it might not be in the budget. It might be in the budget, so it really doesn't matter. There's a good one. Has B2 Audio experimented? What is it?
Barrel winding coils. It's what Hilo did. Hilo for T6Ms. No, we didn't actually do it. We've messed around with bifilar coils, and well, of course we're doing 4 layers. We're doing 8 layers, but we didn't do it where they had a different winding. Instead, we are looking more at the possibilities of having longer windings and having coils wound in flat, also round. So it all depends. But usually we use loom, but also recently we're going to look into maybe more round wire because of better cooling efficiencies on that. But then again, it all depends. It's also more like a market trick that we've seen. People are always asking, "Oh, can't you do like an 8-layer?" I'm like, sure, you can do 8-layer, 16-layer. It doesn't really matter because if you don't open the gap and make the coil fitting to the motor dimension, it doesn't really matter. You can have a 4-layer that's far better than an 8-layer. So then again, you got to start somewhere, and if you start at the coil, well, fair enough. Then you need to design the motor around that. Or if you have the motor, well, then you design the coil around that, and so on and so forth. So it all depends. But we never did that experiment. It hasn't actually even been on my mind. We're doing a few other things that might work in a different way. And as much as I have respect for Thilo and what they did with TC Sounds, it's not a route that we want to go. We're not really known for copying, so I don't really see why I should get too inspired by what they did back then.
Well said. Well said. Big thing you just said, that B2 has never been into copying, and you can tell that by the product. Yeah, there's going to be certain things where a basket's a basket, or a cone's a cone, but the reality is, 90% of the equipment has something else or different, which has been a really cool thing. Okay, do you think? Let me ask you this, because I talked you into the whole DSP thing.
Mm-hmm.
One, you wanted to go outrageous with it, and I'm like, no, we got to have something more that everybody could use,
Sure.
and I'm glad we went that way. But us going into like the raves, an entry-level speaker, do you think that's gonna take away from the heart of B2?
No, I actually think it could probably add to it because previously, like in the older days, we had something called like the IS series, which was the entry level, but that evolved later on into the Riot, and then the Riot actually became, well, if you look at our Riot, which is supposed to be an entry level, comparing that to a lot of other brands' products, it has like mid-level features on it, like 3-inch voice coils for the entry-level series, like dual stack spiders, bolted down spiders, tooled baskets, like with aluminum. It's not the steel plate or anything like that.
I just think it opens up to people that might never have
Exactly
bought or known about B2 audio to say, hey, you could take a Riot amp and some 750 watts, because not everybody's buying this brand to be bass heads. They're buying this brand to listen to music, and having $100 woofer to Mac, with maybe a $300 amp still puts them in the above average, not just Alibaba, cheap crap. So I like the idea, and I think it can get other people involved for sure, but still having what they're known for, the rages and the rampages and all that.
No.
So I'm all for it, and I can't wait for that to come in.
My idea is actually
and bring more people.
My idea is that hopefully we can build on the rage. Let's say we start with a 12, and maybe we can do a 10 or whatever it might be, and then we can look at amps that fit with this, like smaller amps, like 4, 5, 6.1 amps. Maybe make a smaller 4 channel, something that's could just work. So we start with a 12, see if there's any interest in it, and then maybe we can build upon that rave line if we have customers that are saying that, hey, we should have something that fits, because if you buy like a $80 subwoofer, you might not want to invest like $300 in an amp. You might
Right.
want to invest
No, I
maybe
agree.
$150 in an amp or something like that.
Right. But 750-watt subs, we got a nice 6 channel that can run that, or even 4 channels that can run that, plus mids and highs. So I mean, it opens up the doors to everyday listeners, right? You know, the daily driver want to put a couple subs in there. We're also bringing back the 12-inch B2 boxes that has 12-inch woofers in there with a nice custom built box. So you know, look out for that. Okay, we're getting to that time. I know it's late there, Jay, and everybody's been around. We were doing a bi-weekly audio pipe giveaway through tax season, so this is the last one, I think. But it was for, what was this for? This was for a marine amp and some RGB coaxials. So let's go ahead and pick that up. Congratulations, Hunter Gurney. Gunter Gurney. You're the winner of the audio pipe setup, the last one. That's really cool. I just want to get to this comment real quick because audio is I like this. He makes a lot of sense. Wait, wrong one. There we go. Entry level gear is double-edged sword, in my opinion. Some people say cheapens the brand. Some people say it's best way to go familiar with the brand. If it's good gear, it's good gear.
Correct.
And keep in mind that we're making a 750-watt sub, but not like yes, it's less expensive. I don't want to use the word cheap. We're just tacking into the everydayers that want a pair of subs with a nice basket and a good sounding, inexpensive speaker. So the Ace of Fate, you're 100% right. It's still going to be B2 quality, just of a lower level. And definitely look for those coming soon. Let me see here real quick. We got one more. With the 4.5-inch, 5-inch coils becoming common, using bigger is better. I mean, pros and cons. We don't have much time, but go ahead and knock this out, because this is actually a bigger talk than you would think between like a 3-inch coil, 4, you know. Does bigger mean better, Jay?
Not necessarily. It all depends on what you're trying to achieve. Of course, a larger voice coil, you have the ability of having more wire on the coil, which basically gives you the opportunity of. But on the other hand, it doesn't mean that you're going to play louder just because you can add more power. So it's kind of, as another guy said, it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, bigger sensitivity is like, and so forth, and then you will need more power to actually to gain the same number. Like a lot of the SPL guys, they're running 3-inch coils and neodymiums, and that seems to be perfect for them. And you come with this big.
Right. So let me wrap it up for him. Bigger does not mean better.
Not necessarily.
It definitely depends on the application. Yeah, what you're shooting for, tuning frequency, things like that. So, I think, like you said, the average person runs a 3-inch coil.
The issue is that wattage has become so cheap these days. So when you used to have like 3-inch voice coil sub that could take 2,000 watts, now people are like, I can't handle anything more than that. I got like this amp for $800 and puts out 20K. It's like, so now I need a woofer that can actually handle that amount of power. So what do we do?
Yeah.
Well,
efficiency. My favorite word, efficiency,
exactly.
right? Why?
Exactly.
And Ace of Fate is talking about it. I always speak about that in the videos, because if I can have something produce the output with less power, it's efficient. It saves the electric. It saves everything. So definitely that. All right, everyone, it's getting to that time. Sorry for the intermittent connection with Jay. He is traveling with family right now. Easter is like a week-long thing over there. But hopefully you got enough out of it and heard about some of the new stuff, the new swag made of steel, the Yukon, the Votten, Vaughton Marine line coming and everything else. So, Jay, thanks for coming on tonight, and we'll do it again soon. But you will be here next month, so maybe we'll go live while you're at the shop, or definitely while we're at Made of Steel. To everybody else, thank you so much for chiming in. I apologize for the internet there, but hopefully you got the gist. And thank you for being a B2 Audio supporter and helping all of us bring the brand back and what we're doing with it. And just think, by this time next year, it's going to be a line of about 150 SKUs. So bigger and better, and also lesser expensive and better. So we got it all coming. All right, I'm Big Jeff from BigJeffAudio.com, signing off with Ben Jammin, my boy Taylor the Hair, and always Jay Holm. We'll see you on the next one.
Another show in the bag, yeah, that's a wrap. Big Sound is the best, and it ain't no cap. Hit the website if you need that merch. It's Big Jeff Audio and hit the search. I know you had fun, yeah, you gotta admit it. That boy Big Jeff took his thing and he did it. Always a win, yeah, never a L. Did you smash the like, subscribe, and hit the bell? Share it on your socials, put it on blast. We'll be back next week with another podcast. Big Sound in the house, like no other DVM.